dude is right there standing over like he's security for somebody. Is that just security? Is that just security?
I don't need security, but we gonna double team
please
for real.
standing there. You know, like he Biggie 2021. Please. First takes in the house. Let's go.
Has a man in front of him, hurdles the defender. Henry diving. And there is your the play of the season.
Kimberly looking like a Disney princess. The NFL season kicks off today, y'all. Finally, Kimberly Martin, Damian Woody, Stephen A. Smith, Amali Karen Rose, Michael Strahan will stop by in just a bit. And speaking of New York legends, you'll like this. Huge congrats to Derek Jeter and his wife, Hannah, on his much-deserved induction to the Hall of Fame.
El Capitan. You don't just say Derek Jeter, it's El Capitan.
Okay, there we go. What else you got for us?
Well, listen, I just want to remind everybody I'm going to be doing this for a few days because you still walk the streets. You got people thinking folks on vacation and stuff like that. No, this is a new day at First Take. Max is on with KeyShawn and Jay Williams in the morning. It's just me and Molly here with a rotating crew of great contributors to the show. We had Michael Irvin on Monday. We had Swagoo, Marcus Spears on Tuesday. We had Bart Scott yesterday with KeyShawn Johnson. My man Damian Woody's here. The wonderful Kimberly Martin's here. Mina Combs is going to be in. Dan Orlovsky, Jeff Saturday, Tim Tebow. The list goes on and on and on. That chair, for years, people in the world of sports and entertainment have been actually looking to get at me. Well, guess what?
I'm aware.
They can. The chair's going. You got people out there got open invitations.
Even fans, Stephen A?
Even fans. I might sprinkle one or two fans in the mix as well. Nobody is safe with me. Nobody is safe with me. Now, I will admit this. I will admit this. Today might be my roughest day because, you know, Kimberly's something special. I got to watch. My sisters love her. You know, my family loves her. I got to watch my tone. I got to watch my presentation.
Everybody's looking all good, like first day.
And I don't know why. I don't know why Damian is even here.
Today.
I don't even know why he's here.
Damian's super crispy today. I see it all. I like it.
Have you noticed the haircut? You noticed that.
What y'all need to do? Y'all need to get like a close-up on this because, I mean, I don't like to outshine the ladies, but when I get a haircut like this, I gotta show it off.
All over.
And coming back in studio the first day, I gotta get.
He gonna say he look better than the ladies.
No, I never said that.
No,
I never said that. I never said that.
Okay,
never said that. I would never disrespect.
Just making sure, Damian.
Cowboys at Bucks tonight. Let's get it. So after missing the playoffs each of the last two seasons, the Dallas Cowboys have a 56% chance to return to the postseason in 2021, according to ESPN FBI, the highest chance among teams in their division and the seventh best in the NFC. For Dallas to make the playoffs, they will need a bounce-back year from Ezekiel Elliott, who set career lows in rushing yards, yards per attempt, and touchdowns from scrimmage, playing behind a battered offensive line without Dak Prescott. Speaking of Dak and bouncing back, he missed the entire preseason with a sprained shoulder and hasn't played an NFL down since suffering that serious leg injury in October of last season. That all changes tonight against the Bucks. So we've got highly touted rookies making their NFL debut this weekend, vets with new squads, quarterbacks with major chips on their shoulder. All that considered, Mr. Smith, is Dak Prescott the quarterback that's under the most pressure this season?
Well, first of all, I'm distracted. I'm distracted because the lead-in right now that you just led into this topic is very, very lovely. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Just want to say that. I mean, you did a fabulous job of introducing that subject, Molly. Kimberly, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Let me be very clear. The pressure's on Dak Prescott. Excuse me. 42-27 as a starter, I get it. But only 20-17 over the last 3 years. 2-3 last year, 8-8 the year before. 2 misses from the playoffs. We know what happened 3 years ago when they went to the playoffs, okay? Here's the reality of the situation. I thought this was America's team. Ain't this America's team?
Oh, it is.
I thought this was America's team. You representing, because according to the Cowboys, Cowboy Nation, they not just representing Big D. They represent the United States of America. I mean, they're the standard, okay? I have no idea why. It is completely uncalled for. They are not worthy, but it is what it is. They're America's team. And this quarterback, who we all fought for, we all recognize he deserves every penny. Dak Prescott, even when he got hurt, you remember how emotional I was, how ticked off I was, because when he got hurt, Kimberly, you weren't here that day. When Dak Prescott got hurt, I was so upset because I've been clamoring for him to get his money. And I was saying, yo, they still better pay him. This brother right here, the way he has produced throughout the years, he should have never had to wait as long as he waited for his money. But props to Jerry Jones, he ultimately got it. In the end, with great dollars come great responsibility.
Now
You're America's team, you got to get it done, Kim.
Okay,
you got to get it
he
done.
has his money, now the pressure's on. You know what? Here's what we're not going to do today.
Okay.
We are not going to put all the blame on Rain Dakota Prescott. We are not. Because here's the thing. On this Cowboys team, how many people could actually shoulder some responsibility and blame and pressure right now? Zeke? How about Zeke? I would argue that he's under more pressure than Dak.
Is that right?
Because here's the thing. Because we're seeing Dak come back, no preseason, coming off of an ankle injury. You talked about the devastation that you felt when he got hurt,
where
right?
You going.
Okay. Then the shoulder. So he's finally back. What was Zeke's excuse last year? What was
Offensive
it?
line?
Okay.
That's what's his excuse.
Okay. So, here's my thing. On this Dallas Cowboys team, the offense to me isn't even the issue. Historically bad defense. But you want to sit here on this stage today and call out Dak as the... If you, Steven, if you had come in here today and said Baker Mayfield, I wouldn't have agreed, but I would be like, you know what? I get it, because he's trying to get paid. If you had said Matt Stafford, who I actually think is under the most pressure, I would have been like, I'm with you. If you had even said Carson Wentz, I'd have been like, I got you. Okay, I see where you're going. But you came on here today and said Dak. Dak Prescott with these Cowboys? No, sorry. It's Matthew Stafford, Carson Wentz, boom.
Can I piggyback on that too? The coaches also.
I mean, Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones,
some of the
the ladies can't get up. The ladies can't get up.
We're just dealing with reason right now. We're just dealing with
it's like every
Give me that camera,
reasons.
please.
Come
Give me
on.
that camera, please. My older sister, Lily. What's up, baby? What's up, baby girl? You know your little brother loves you to death. Big time Giants fan. Big time Giants fan, okay?
Love it.
My sister, Arlen, she's a bit different, but I love her to death. She's a bit different. She's a bit touched, but I love her to death.
Okay,
my sister, Abigail, and of course, Carmen, the greatest cook on the planet right now. Let me tell you something. Y'all love yourself some Kimberly Martin. So I'm going to monitor my tone while I deliver this soliloquy. I get where you coming from with the Matthew Stafford joint. I understand that. But like I said, America's team, like I said, you had your offensive line. That's probably the excuse Ezekiel Elliott could use. By the way, his worst statistical season, but he still averaged 4 yards a carry. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Michael Gallup. You got Amari Cooper, the self-proclaimed best wide receiver in the sport, but he hasn't proven it yet, self-proclaimed as well. Okay, I know how horrid and pathetic the defense was, and there's some pressure on Quinn to resurrect those things. I'm saying, no. Don't get me wrong. Because they've been god-awful. But anything's an improvement, because when you're at rock bottom, any climb is going to be an improvement. If your offense is lethal, the Dallas Cowboys should easily win the NFC East. And all I'm saying to you is that when you Dak Prescott and you just got paid and you the representative for America's team, you can't wet the bed. You better show up.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it. Now, I'm going to have to deal with that big dude
someone
over
else
there.
wants more.
Someone wants more.
You know what? Don't even come over here. I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to walk over there.
I don't even know if he can take any more smoke. Kimberly kind of just shut him down right there.
Right?
I mean, you can deal with the leftovers, Damien. That's fine.
Hold on for a second, y'all. Let me say something to y'all right now, okay?
No,
Let me be very clear. First of all, the suit game is cool because it resembles the suit game. That's number one, okay?
Right.
Number two, all right? Notice the difference between him and me. You see, when you rock a tie, you're going to say, and you look the part. I mean, you got to finish the job. You can't just start the job. It looks good right up until you get up here. See, you got to finish the job. You stop The ladies would tell you that if they're being honest. They just gonna be nice.
Can you
right
finish,
now.
Stephen A., can you finish the job with this debate, please?
Ooh, what, Molly? What am I not doing?
I'm focused on this beatdown you were getting. Dak is the quarterback.
I was getting a beatdown. First of all, I wasn't getting a beatdown. I was being nice to the wonderful Kimberly Martin, but I made my point. You got something to say about what I had to say?
Yeah, I mean, you sitting here talking about Dak. Dak has, the most pressure and all that. How Dak got the most pressure? Didn't Dak get paid this offseason? Hello.
Don't he got to earn the money? Don't he got to earn the big bucks?
You the same cat.
First of all, watch your tone. Could you watch your tone? Could you watch your tone?
I'm not going to watch my tone. I told you when I'm on set, this is my set here.
I told you it's not.
Okay, so I'm not going to watch my tone. You the same person when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. You always talk about how they fall apart late in December.
Yes,
late in December.
Yes.
There are no expectations when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
There's no expectations?
You the main one always
There's no
talk about that.
expectations?
You the main one always talk about that. How you can't wait till around Thanksgiving. Around Thanksgiving, they just fall apart. Go ahead.
Sam Tanucci, our producer extraordinaire. Could you please roll a particular tape for me with this brother right here? Do you have it? Do you have it yet?
Oh, you bringing stuff out.
Oh, I'm going to bring it out.
Oh, you bringing stuff out.
I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to bring it out.
So you going to snipe me. You going to snipe me right now.
Here we go.
Right here is a Super Bowl contending team. Yes, I said it. They are a Super Bowl contending team. Matter of fact, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Yes, I am saying that. I'm talking directly to you, Stephen A. I am picking the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a crime.
How could you do that He was on the injured reserve list.
Yeah, okay. Listen. First of all, you in the sling with your torn rotator cuff. You know what I mean? You bringing out old video from 2019 talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, this is a new year. Okay, I'm not talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Before you continue,
go ahead,
Molly, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Something I got to tell y'all.
Yes,
that's only one tape. I had a tape from him a year later predicting the Cowboys were going to win again. He did it twice. He did it twice.
Damien,
he did it twice. He did it twin times.
Damien, he comes with receipts.
No, but you know what? But you know what? See,
those receipts don't change anything, though.
It's 2021.
They don't.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I learned from my ways. Okay. I'm not predicting the Dallas Cowboys to win a Super Bowl. But to get back to the original, the pressure's not. Dak Prescott doesn't have the most pressure. Matthew Stafford has the most pressure.
Let him know.
Matthew Stafford has the most pressure. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Matthew Stafford, in all his years in Detroit, has piled up all these gaudy stats in Detroit. Numbers that if you just look at the numbers, you would think that he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. The numbers that he pulled up, especially with Megatron, he had his boy Megatron at wide receiver. But here's the thing. When it comes to the postseason, and we talk about postseason play all the time. 0-3. When we talk about quarterback, now he goes to the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay and company. Trade for Matthew Stafford.
Right. Because we said this week, because you was talking about Stafford this week, 0-3. You said your record is on you, right?
Stephen A., last word here. We got to agree to disagree because I got to get to a guy that feels no pressure at all.
Last word. All I'm going to say is this. They're talking about the playoffs. What if Dak can't even get the Cowboys to the playoffs? I mean, anything possible. These are the Cowboys we're talking about. What if they don't even win the division and they miss the playoffs? What about that? Has anybody thought about that? I rest my case.
Y'all know it's true. Y'all know it's true. And the New Orleans Saints will face off Sunday in Jacksonville, Florida, due to damage caused to New Orleans by Hurricane Ida. Not only will the locale be different for the Saints, so will their starting quarterback. For the first time in 15 years, as Jameis Winston takes over the reins from Drew Brees, huge loss without Michael Thomas. On the other side, we're all grateful that bad man, the former MVP, will be on the field, and he's reminding folks it's all good. RELAX.
I think we don't feel pressure. I'm speaking personally. I can't speak for everybody, but the feel that I get with the energy in the locker room is not pressure. It's focus. I really do. I think it's the right perspective and the right type of focus.
This is probably the hungriest team that I've ever been around, honestly, just because We have been so close a number of times now, so I feel like everybody in the back of their mind, they know how reachable it is and realistic that we are to, get into that final step.
All right, Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers, they're feeling good right now, hungry as can be. Kimberly, I'll start with you. What qualifies as a failure for Aaron Rodgers this season?
You heard Davante Adams talk about this is the hungriest team I've been around. So to me, them not only not making the playoffs, but if they were to lose in the divisional round and not get to the NFC title game, that to me is a failure. Because the Packers, let's be clear, this is their last dance moment. Davante Adams has already come out and said this week, there's no chance of an extension. We already assume Aaron Rodgers will not be in Green Bay next year. So this is it for this nucleus right here. And legacy is really important to Aaron Rodgers. You talk about Super Bowls, talk about Tom Brady being great. Aaron wants another Super Bowl. Like he's a Hall of Famer, but that extra Super Bowl puts him in that elite category. And so he's gonna be thinking about that. I think no playoffs can't happen. They gotta make the playoffs.
Did you just say if
Here
the
we
Green
go.
Bay? Hold on, hold on, wait for me.
Here we
Did
go.
you just say if Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers miss the play? As if that's a possibility?
But we're
not
talking
a
about
possibility. You understand that, right? Aaron Rodgers has just been in back-to-back conference title games.
And you know who was at those games? I was at those games.
That's
I saw,
right.
and I've seen them.
Excuse me.
I've seen them go out
because I was watching your reporting while you were at those games, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. But I will also acknowledge, why did you take the time out of your busy life to go to San Francisco or Palo Alto, wherever the hell that stadium is, and then last year, to be in Green Bay? Why were you there? You know why? Because there's a bad man that's quarterback, and that's why. Aaron Rodgers is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer as a talent, maybe the greatest talent at the quarterback position that we've ever seen. He's the reigning league MVP, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4,200 plus passing yards. This brother is elite. This brother is one of the elite quarterbacks this game has ever seen, period. With that being said, I will tell you this. Because he wants out, because of the noise that he's created, I'm willing to concede this. Minimal, you got to get to the NFC Championship game. And I'm willing to go so far as to say, if you don't make it to the Super Bowl this season's a failure. Everything's on the line with Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers wants to show the world his greatness, wants to show the world validating that he should have had more input, more say, and he should not have been as summarily dismissed by Brian Gutekunst as he was. I think those things play a huge, huge role. And the fact that they got Randall Cobb, let me tell you why that's so significant. Because we all know the only reason Randall Cobb is there is because Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So in other words, okay, we're going to throw you a bone. We're going to give you a little piece here, there. We're going to do all of that. But that's how we're going to treat this. They've appeased this man to some degree. Too little, too late.
Yep.
But they've done it to bring attention to the fact he wants what he wants. All right, fine. He got to show up and show that he was worthy of all the respect he was asking for. And even though I know he is, the fact of the matter is this year, if they wet the bed and they don't get it done, and we talking about not just about Tampa Bay, if we're talking about the Rams, talking about Seattle, talking about San Francisco, if we're talking about a bunch of teams outside of Tampa Bay other than Green Bay, that is going to be a bad blemish on Aaron Rodgers.
Why does he? But you just listed all the reasons why he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. What does he have to getting to the Super Bowl? If he doesn't get there, that's considered a failure. Everything that he's done has the Jordan Love scenario. That in itself proves that he's worth. You want Randall Cobb? Who else you want? What else you want? Because of how they drafted Jordan Love, going up to get him, and casting Aaron aside and thinking he was done. I don't think he has to win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's
there.
I don't think, I think to me, a failure, the question is a failure of a season. So to not get to the NFC title game, that's different. Like if they don't even get there, I've seen them get to the NFC title game and lose. But lose respectfully. Like, I don't think that's a blemish on his career.
But I do understand where you say they would need to get there and win because he did draw attention on himself. He did invite some of that criticism in. He did ask for help. They did deliver. Yeah. I want to bring Damien in on this one, though.
All right, if you must.
Oh, boy. Damien,
where are you on this?
Come on over.
Well, here's what I feel. I hear Stephen A. always talking about this bad man
He is a bad
type
man.
thing
Yeah.
when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been to the Super Bowl since 2011. My youngest wasn't even born at that time. He halfway to being a grown man right now.
Why you being disrespectful?
Like
Why you
literally
being disrespectful?
Look, well, I'm not being disrespectful, but you sit on this show.
Come into the light.
You sit on this show almost every episode talking about
bad man.
blabbing about Aaron Rodgers.
He's a
Aaron
bad
Rodgers
man.
this.
He's a
Aaron
bad
Rodgers
man.
that.
He's a bad
and we
man.
haven't seen Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know if they had HD TV back then when Aaron Rodgers went to the Super Bowl the last time.
No.
Back in 2011. Okay, we can't keep talking about this bad man, and he hasn't even appeared in the Super Bowl in that period of time.
Can I ask you a
my
question?
question to you.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. I'm
In
listening.
the last decade, can you name 3 quarterbacks you'd rather have more than Aaron Rodgers?
Honestly, I can't.
That's right.
You know, honestly,
That's how
I
great
can't.
he is.
But,
That's how
but
great
you know
he
what?
is.
But here's my point. If it's so bad, what's the problem?
Well,
only one Super Bowl,
coaching, personnel around
only one
him.
Super
How
Bowl
about that?
appearance.
Coaching,
only
personnel
one?
around him. Coaching and personnel around
In
him.
his illustrious career, only one.
You know, and an idiot
the
teammate
deal?
that messed up against Seattle in the NFC Championship game on the onside kick. You could bring that up too. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you could bring up. Aaron Rodgers is not the reason that the Green Bay Packers haven't been back to the Super Bowl. That brother is special.
The best
What would
quarterback.
be a
He could've run it
failure?
in,
What
though,
would
but
be a
that's
failure
just
for
it.
them
He
this
could've run it.
season?
I don't know if he would have made it in.
Oh,
He kind of got close.
for me, minimum, you got to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And that's really where you are, Stephen A.
Minimum.
essentially.
But we agreed in.
Minimum. It can't be. I don't want to hear any NFC Championship game mess.
He's been there and done that.
Yes, I need to see him in Los Angeles.
I said Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
SoFi Stadium.
Can you imagine in Disneyland, you, Aaron Rodgers, in the Super Bowl, your favorite dad, LA?
I wasn't interested in going to Lambeau, but SoFi.
They said real Lambeau, yeah,
I'll be there. I'll be there.
I see you.
your
I see you perked up when they talk about Los Angeles.
I'll be there. Don't worry about that. I will
my
be
goodness.
in La La for that.
Okay, you fantasize about that. I'm going to get in some commercials here. Still to come on First Take, we've got a treat for you. All-world superstar, the Hall of Famer, Big Blue, Michael Strahan joining the show next. His show, his predictions, his life, we discuss all of it next on First Take. Plus, it is finally here. The 2021 NFL season kicks off tonight. Stephen A. has a must-hear prediction. Dallas fans... Sure is, and it was always hunting season when the Hall of Famer Michael Strahan was on the field. Giants Nation, we sure missed that, and he's become the gold standard in media. Michael, I know you're a busy man. Thank you so much for the time with us today and being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. I appreciate you both having me. Big fan, love watching the show, so I'm happy to be on. So thank you.
Big fan, too, in media and as a player. All right, so we just saw the trailer for Uninterrupted's More Than an Athlete. Looks incredible. The 4-part season begins today with 1 episode available on ESPN Plus right now. So, Michael, I always say people often see the glory, but they don't know the real story, right? And you talked about how frustrating that it can be. It's like everything was just handed to you. What are we going to learn about you when you take us behind the curtain here?
I think that you're going to learn that there were a lot of no's. There were a lot of doubts, not only from people doubting me, but probably from me doubting myself. And that the only reason I am where I am because I had people who were supportive, who believed in me, who pushed me, who challenged me to continue to go even when I didn't think I could go any further or thought I wanted to go any further. So I've just been, I'm a product of all the important friendships, relationships, great parents, but there's been a lot of, ups and downs along the way that I think people have not thought about because as you said, you see the end product and you think, oh, that's been great. He's had it easy. It's been a long road. And I think that everyone thinks they had this charmed life, but I went to HBCU. I'm a Texas Southern University guy, and I'm so proud of that. And I think more people need to know that. And I just think that my life is not exactly what people may think it is, even though now it turned out to actually be pretty good.
It's just Mike, man. I appreciate you being on the show. You're one of the best people I know, man. I'm so happy for you. So proud of all that you're doing.
I appreciate it.
And it's nice to be interviewing you for a change instead of being interviewed by you on GMA. With that being said, let me ask you this question. Why now? Because you've been around for quite a long time. You've had an illustrious career, 141 and a half sacks, 6th all-time in NFL history right now as it stands. You've had an illustrious career. You've been in the public eye for a while. Why now in terms of doing this?
Because I think it's beyond football now. And the perfect title, more than an athlete. Last year was LeBron James. This year, Spring Hill came to me and my production company, Smack, and we talked about, doing it with me. And I was honored by that, to have these guys think that I was worthy of it. But I think because now athletes understand it goes well beyond the playing field. There's a life after sports. And hopefully I epitomize that. And I'm giving guys a blueprint or the confidence to know that you just don't have to be known as an athlete. You're more than that, not just to be on TV, but my buddy Justin Tuck, he's a big wig at Goldman Sachs. O.C. Umenyiora is doing well. A lot of teammates and a lot of friends who do so many different things outside of sports that I just think it's important for guys to understand that you don't have to be boxed into one lane. And for me, the timing was right. I've been out of the game of football as a player for 14 years, which just blows my mind to even think it's been that long. But I want people to have a glimpse to know that there is life after the game.
As great as LeBron is, obviously, because he's playing all the time, we got to be critical of him from time to time. Jump shot, free throws, and all of this other stuff. But the man is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball.
Yep.
But I bring him up only to ask this question because you brought up Spring Hill. And obviously, that's a production arm run by him, run by Maverick Carter, and those guys who are doing a phenomenal job. If it were someone else who had come to you to do this instead of them, would you have done this?
I don't know. That's a good question because no one else came to me, Stephen A. Smith. So
opportunity knocked.
Yeah, opportunity knocked. But I think it's the respect that I have for them, and I know what this series means, not only to them but in the landscape of athletes and sports, and how important it is to I guess to the culture out there. I'm honored that they came to me. And if it were someone else, would I have done it? I think I probably would have definitely considered, as long as I felt like it was something in the vein of giving hope and creating the right narrative that I hope that this leaves.
At this particular moment in time, just being more than an athlete, that's clearly a message they want to send. It's clearly a message that you want to send. How important is it to disseminate that kind of message in this day and time with all that we've endured? COVID, obviously the social justice issues that percolated throughout this nation over the last year or so. When you take all of those things into consideration, does that make it even more important that we address how athletes are more than just athletes in this day and age?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing you want to understand, athletes are human beings. I've been watching so many different things about mental health and all these things, and especially with the U.S. Open now and a lot of the tennis players and the things that are written said to them when they don't win the match. And, the same thing they're said to athletes and basketball players and football players during the game. Like, fans act as if we paid the ticket or you're on social media. We can say whatever we want. We kind of own a piece of you. And they don't see you as a person. So I think it's important for people to understand, especially in this day and time, that we are people, that we do have feelings, we do have emotions, we do have doubts, we do have fears, we do have things that we enjoy and excite us, and motivations in our life that they may not realize. But we're very similar, except for we had the gift of sports, which put us in a position to do other things. And I think everyone has a certain gift, and it's a matter of you just tapping into it. And for me, I tapped into the sports gift, but I didn't think that football was the end-all, be-all of my life. It was a part of my life. And so to me, it's very important to show that in life you have diversity, you have skills, tap into them. Don't be afraid to fail. And the bigger failure is not trying, to me. So I'm willing to fail and throw myself out there and take what comes, as long as I do my best.
And that's why I can't wait to see this series on ESPN Plus, because that vulnerability helps so many of us, civilians like myself, in getting strength from how you've overcome your adversity. Michael, you didn't think you were going to be on the show, though, and we're not going to talk about Big Blue, okay, sir? Because I've got some serious concerns for my New York Football Giants. Can you call Gettleman, and can you put together an O-line? What are your expectations for Danny Dimes? We got Saquon back. We need a guy like you on the defensive side of the ball, though.
I tell you what, I love Danny Dimes. I really hope he does well. I haven't had really a chance to kind of bond with these younger teams as I've left, but with him, I've taken him. I played golf with him a few times, and he is a great guy. He's very athletic, big, can do everything that you want your star quarterback to do. But he's going to need some help up front, and that's been the biggest problem with that offensive line. And I know that since we've actually added some guys, but it's tough to me when you add guys who are like later, like the guys that other teams really didn't want on their roster, to think that they're going to come and be the solution. So if you don't get your offensive line right, it's going to be hard to have the success that I think that we're expecting. I hope they gel. Hope Saquon is back from that knee injury, which is going to be tough the first year that he's back from that. And I hope Galladay really adds to the mix and just gives him so many weapons that maybe he can get the ball out of his hands before the defensive line gets there. Yeah. Who knows? But defensively, we need impact players. We need playmakers, I think, up front. I think that's something we are missing. If they really need it bad enough, I still got my cleats. I'd dust them, dust them off.
Still staying in that weight room, Michael, right?
Hey, listen. The weight room along with the suit game, you look like you could still ball, brother. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all, and you're approaching 50, so that's a damn compliment. Last question for you. Talking football. Can't talk football and don't bring up Tom Brady. The greatness of Tom Brady, the fact that they've returned all 22 starters. More than asking about him, simple question. What's it going to take to knock them off, and who do you think has a chance to do it best?
I mean, the hardest thing about repeating after you win a Super Bowl is not that you're not talented, especially since they have every starter back. It's the attitude in which they bring, because once you win a Super Bowl, everybody on that team thinks they're the reason that you won the Super Bowl. And the attitudes kind of change. Guys got to get a little arrogant. And I think the biggest thing they have going for them is having Tom Brady back, because Tom can say, hey, I've won multiples, and you don't win multiples if you're arrogant, if you think it's just going to happen when you walk out there. You have to work even harder because there's a target on your back. So I think that he's the epitome of showing what an attitude can do to a team, because this is a team that had talent for years, just couldn't get it done. One guy walks in with the right attitude, and the team wins the Super Bowl against a tough, AFC conference with the Chiefs. But I think Chiefs got a chance. I think Buffalo's a sleeper to me. I think Tennessee is going to be physical and beat some people up. I hate to say it, this game tonight could be a big one. Dallas, they get on, if with the talent they have.
Oh,
wait, Michael, real quick.
Oh,
money on the line. Does your boy Tom Brady run it back this year?
No.
Okay.
I love Tom. That's my guy, my business partner, religion of sports. Do they run it back this year? No fault of Tom Brady's. I don't think it happens. It's too tough. It's hard to do.
All right.
Well, my brother.
Don't be mad, Tom.
I'm mad. I'm mad.
Michael, thank you so much for being with us. And I know you've got like 20 shows, even more than Stephen A. But if you ever have time, we'd love for you to come on and debate him. So you just let us know.
You know what? I've been watching that. I cannot wait to do that. I will do that. And
Stephen A. There we go.
Come get it.
He finally met his match.
Come get it. This ain't the football field.
Well, when I watch you fill in for Jimmy Kimmel, I hit you up and said, man, you're phenomenal at it, but you don't stand a chance to debate me, brother.
Oh, please. Please.
Okay, drop the mic.
Hold on. Before let me tell you this, Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan. You don't have, if you come here, Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos can't help you. You understand that, right? You understand that?
Stephen, hey, man, let me explain something to you. I didn't limp off that football field. I walked off on my own, and I will walk into that studio and make you limp out.
This ain't the football field, my brother. You in trouble. You in trouble. I love you, but you in trouble. You in trouble now.
All right.
Michael Strahan, you in trouble.
We got to let Michael go. Michael, this was a lot of fun. Can't wait to have you on again. Really excited again. More Than an Athlete with Michael Strahan on ESPN Plus today. Check that out. Michael, be well. Have a great season.
See you later, Molly. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, coming up next on First Take, is everyone sleeping on Justin Herbert this season? Why one of Herbert's teammates thinks the second-year QB is about to blossom into the elite category. Stephen A's reaction in a bit. Plus, speaking in the AFC. All right, let's run through notable Week 1 matchups in the AFC. Did I mention the NFL season kicks off tonight? Tua and the Dolphins will travel to face Mac Jones and the Patriots in the first-ever NFL matchup between starting quarterbacks that played for Nick Saban. Stephen A. Tua and the Finns beat New England in Week 15 last season. Buffalo will host Pittsburgh. The Steelers lost 4 of their last 5 after an 11-0 start to last season. The Bills won 13 games last year, and Josh Allen set franchise records for passing yards and touchdowns. The Browns will head to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, who are looking to become the 4th team to appear in 3 straight Super Bowls. Cleveland is looking to end its streak of 16 consecutive season openers without a W. Super Bowl champion Damian Woody back in the house. Damian, you are up first, my man. Who is going to win the AFC?
Stephen A., I'm going with a team in the AFC East, but it's not the team that you think that I'm talking about. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, God.
The Buffalo Bills
Banned from
will
Foxborough.
rep the AFC in the Super Bowl. And to me, it starts with Josh Allen. Now, you've been harping about that bad man up in Green Bay. Well, let me tell you something. That's a bad man up in Buffalo right now.
I like Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, to me, is the best dual-threat quarterback in the National Football League. All we've seen, yes, I said it. Josh Allen's the best dual-threat quarterback in the National Football League, okay? Everyone talks about Lamar Jackson being a dual threat. But guess what? This man passes the ball better than Lamar Jackson, and boy, does he have legs on him. And for me, it starts with their offense, okay? Their offense. Brian Daboll, their offensive coordinator, guy who I was with in New England, has Josh Allen, this offense dialed in. They got Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley. They bring Emmanuel Sanders over. Now you're talking about 3 receivers that Josh Allen gets to play with. And then, oh, by the way, on the defensive side of the football, got one of the best defensive secondaries in the National Football League. They go out in the draft. You know what they do? They go draft pass rushers, because what do you need in the National Football League? You need guys that can get after the opposing quarterback to close out games. And when I look at the Buffalo Bills, I'm looking at Sean McDermott, the head coach, who has created a tremendous culture up in Buffalo and has the recipe for the Buffalo Bills to go out and win the AFC this year.
You're wrong. Excuse me. What I'm not going to say is that you're ridiculous.
Oh, you know I'm not ridiculous.
Stephon Diggs, one of the elite receivers in the game. Very proud of what I'm seeing from the brother. He's a stud. And it was good for him to leave Minnesota, to be honest with you, because they didn't seem to appreciate him enough. Not that they totally disregarded him, but they didn't seem to appreciate him enough for the stud that he was. I got all of that. Devin Singletary, I'm actually a fan of his coming out of the backfield. Josh Allen, I'm actually a fan. Remember, he came into the draft, after the draft, or came into the draft taking some heat because of, past transgressions or something he had said or whatever. I've always been a fan of the kid. Okay, and I thought that he's just a good character guy as well as a damn good player. Only 24. Here's my problem with people like yourself when you bring up this kind of stuff. In all seriousness, you're not paying enough attention to the year that was last year. We're looking at Josh Allen. Let's analyze this, and I'm calling it up because I wanted to make sure I had it right. Okay, first year, just a rookie. Believed in him. 2018, Josh Allen passed for 2,000 yards, complete 52% of his passes. Okay. Next year, 58%, 3,000 yards. Last year, 69%. He's had one good year. We've been critical of Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield actually has had 2 good years in his 3 years in the NFL.
Oh, boys, defending Baker.
You actually got me defending Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield came in, played well his rookie year, struggled the second year under Freddie Kitchens, definitely resurrected himself, and played well last year under Kevin Stefanski. But we're still critical of Baker Mayfield. But somehow Josh Allen shows up for 1 year. 1 year and balls out, no doubt about it. Was an MVP candidate, no question about it. We get all of that. But it's 1 year. And it's the same year as COVID. It's the same year cats didn't show up. It's the same year 8 different people didn't show up on the defensive side of the ball for the New England Patriots. It's the same year all of these troubles had. And I'm just saying to you like this. Listen, the Buffalo Bills, I got to pay attention because Emmanuel Sanders can still ball. No question about it. I thought they should have utilized it better in New Orleans last year, and damn it, Jimmy Garoppolo should have connected with him in the Super Bowl. They might be champions right now the year before that. But he's been around a while, former Steeler, by the way. He is now in Buffalo. You got him. You've got a guy like, obviously, Diggs. You got Cole Beasley, who nearly had a 1,000-yard receiving season. I get all of that. But in the end, this ain't COVID. Even though COVID's still happening, everybody there, New England there. We've been talking about Miami and what they bring to the table. You, the Bills, you might not win the division, let alone come out of the conference. And then, oh, by the way, when we get to the conference, there's this dude that's Patrick Mahomes that got stomped in the Super Bowl, had a bad toe, and no offensive lineman. Or the combination.
So you're making excuses right now. Wait a minute, hold on. You just said all this COVID and all this. No. You laid out all these things about the Buffalo Bills. Why, maybe it was some type of illusion, but when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, you making excuses now?
Hold on.
Are you making excuses for the Kansas City Chiefs? Okay.
No, I'm saying that's why I'm saying they lost the Super Bowl in effect. Let's face reality.
Okay.
No matter what you can say, if your offensive line is intact and Patrick Mahomes healthy, you don't score 9 points. You might still lose the Super Bowl, but you don't get romped 31-9. Come on now. We know better than that.
Okay.
So let's take that into consideration. All I'm trying to say is that's the same team that beat Buffalo. Same team that beat Buffalo. So I'm looking at it. I expect the Steelers to resurrect themselves. The Cleveland Browns supposedly is going to be relevant. Baltimore, we can't dismiss. Tennessee, they got Julio Jones with A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill. And you got Kansas City. And we going to sit up there and say, I can understand Buffalo going to be a contender. I can understand you say that. You going to sit up there and say they going to the Super Bowl. Really?
Absolutely. You talked about Josh Allen having one good year. But the way I look at it, I look at the progression. Look at when you talk about those numbers, look at how the numbers gotten better year after year after year.
They have, it's a big jump, though. It's a big jump.
That's a credit to him.
58 to 69%.
That's a credit to him.
You don't think that's abnormal?
That's a credit to him.
That's abnormal?
Do you think it's abnormal that Patrick Mahomes just went out there and just right out the gate just had an MVP type season?
No. I think he's that dude.
I think Josh Allen's that dude. Okay. Look at the progression year after year after year. Right. This man is about to have another monster year. Same play caller, all the same playmakers with Emmanuel Sanders there. And you don't think Josh Allen's not going to cook?
Well, they were 13-3 last year. With him complete 69% of his passes.
13-3.
I'm talking about with him complete 69% of his passes. They had the number 2 offense in yards, in passing yards, number 3 passing yards, number 2 in yards, number 2 in points. I got all of that. What I'm saying to you is this. I don't look at the Buffalo Bills and see that as something that I believe will be consistent with last year, because I think this year is different because everybody's back in their division and in their conference.
I can say with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West, the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, you keep sleeping on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Listen, I like Herbert, but all I'm saying to you is this. I don't expect. Listen, the Chargers playing for second place. We all know that. They're playing for second place. Don't get me started with no Raiders and Broncos. Just like
the other teams in the AFC East will be playing for second place.
Hold on, I'm just saying this. New England and Miami is no joke.
I'm not saying they. I'm not.
Where are you on New England? I am curious because Stephen A. got people all mad because he had them with the 5th best chance to potentially win the Super Bowl the other day.
I think they'll make the playoffs. They'll be a wild card team. I'm not one of these people that's jumping on the bandwagon that we've had some people, in our company that's New England's going to the Super Bowl. I'm not there. I'm not there.
But you think Bills are light years ahead?
I think the Bills are, to me, in my opinion, the clear-cut best team in the AFC.
And I'm just sitting there going like this man. How many Super Bowl rings you got?
Oh, you know how many I got. You
got 2, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Where'd you get it from?
I got New England.
Who was the coach?
Bill.
Oh, really? Bill.
Yeah.
Who's the defensive coordinator?
What, during my time?
Yes.
Romeo Cornell.
Okay, he's with Romeo Cornell, right? Mm-hmm. Matt Patricia's back because we know he ain't no damn head coach, but he's back as a defensive mind. Right. Okay, he's going to contribute to that. Mm-hmm. I'm just simply saying that with Dante Hightower back, with Kyle Van Noy back in the crew. I mean, we just going to shove that aside.
No, I'm not. Ain't nobody
shove that aside.
I'm not disrespecting.
All right, okay.
I'm not disrespecting New England. I'm just speaking on Buffalo.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I give him this. Ain't gonna phase them to go and play in inclement weather. They live in inclement weather. So that I'll give them that.
So next time when you snipe me back there when you talk about the Cowboys, we got this tape.
Go ahead.
Okay, we got this.
Go ahead, man.
Bills Mafia, they got this tape
Bills
too.
Mafia. I mean, by the way,
It's like the best. It's one of the best fan bases in sports.
Let me
Is
say
that
this.
fair?
Let me say this about Bills Mafia. Okay, where's the camera? Because I ain't running from them. I ain't running from anything. Let me say
Here we go. Be careful, Bills Mafia.
Let me say something about Bills Mafia. Y'all real. I got nothing but respect for y'all. I got nothing but respect for y'all. But I will say this. When we say mafia, we usually associate that with killing.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Who have the Bills killed?
Apparently,
happen?
this year it's coming.
When did that
according to
happen?
Damian Woody.
When did that happen?
All right, still to come on First Take. Teams have
I'm just
named their
saying.
Week 1 captains, and Miami did not choose Tua. Is this something or nothing? Kimberly Martin will explain everything. And speaking of field generals, we turn our attention to Stephen A's favorite city. I'd say one of his favorite cities, Los Angeles. Which LA quarterback would Stephen A rather have? Justin Herbert or Matthew Stafford? Great question. That's next.
Football is
Bringing me back to the good old days, my childhood. Can't wait to see Tim Tebow. Tebow time tomorrow right here on First Take. Stephen A., what else can folks expect?
Well, they can expect Tim Tebow on Fridays. They can expect Michael Irvin on Mondays. They can expect to see Marcus Spears and obviously Ryan Clark and KeyShawn Johnson and Kimberly Martin and Dan Orlovsky and Jeff Saturday and Teddy Bruschi and the whole crew, the regular crew of contributors that we have. But they can also expect to see new faces as well, because there's a lot of people in the world of sports and in the world of entertainment that have been trying to get at me for years, swearing up and down, like Michael Strahan swore earlier
That
they
long.
can get at me. Well, the list is long, but I'm here and I intend to be here, Lord willing. So let's get it on. Anybody that wants to be in that chair, the producers at First Take, their numbers are not hard to find, and I damn sure ain't hard to find. So that's what I'm opening it up to, the world. And by the way, that includes some fans out there as well. I'm keeping an eye on fans. I don't want any idiots. I want knowledgeable. I want knowledgeable fans who know how to be classy. And that, by the way, I'm particular. Because you can't just dress any old way and look any old way and show up on national television. I got to see the look. I got to see your presentation. And
you got to swipe left, swipe right. I got it. Okay.
The lovely Kimberly Martin here sets a standard. Yeah. You've been setting a standard for years. I've been setting a standard. Now, Damian Woody has tried to interrupt that. Not wearing a tie. Marcus Spears not wearing a tie.
So we'll
you
see
see
if
what I'm
he's got a
saying?
tie.
Not wearing a tie. There is a dress code
Come
and a
with
standard.
a tie, y'all.
A standard.
It's like when you used to wait in line at the club and the bouncer looks you up and down and it's like, okay, you can come in. That's Stephen A.
That's right.
All right, plenty more still to come here, guys. Get your popcorn ready for the Stephen A. interview with Travis Kelce. The tight end says Patrick Mahomes is not the most exciting player in the league. What? He has some explaining to do, so stay tuned for that. Can't wait to see Travis and Stephen A. sitting down together. Quick takes, guys? Ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay, Kimberly, is Tua Tagovailoa not being named a Dolphins captain something or nothing?
Molly, it's something. Because think about it. Here's an opportunity for his teammates, coaches to say, we trust you. We believe in you. You're the guy. And what's the one thing the Dolphins have not done since last year, this offseason, is come out and commit to Tua. You are the guy. So this, to me, is a little troubling. I'm worried about Tua this year.
Well,
Absolutely. We even heard rumors of Deshaun Watson.
Zach Wilson was named the starter. He's a rookie, too, and he just got there. They should trade Watson.
For sure.
They should trade for Watson. Miami should.
Stephen A., third-year Cardinals coach Cliff Kingsbury says he's unfazed by outside pressure to make the playoffs. Should he be feeling the heat in Arizona?
Hell yes, he should be feeling the heat. Because, I mean, how many times are you going to watch San Francisco, Seattle, and L.A. make the playoffs, but you coming up short? And let's face reality. We love Kyler Murray and what we've seen from him, but a lot of it is based on his athletic prowess and his playmaking ability as opposed to Kingsbury's play calling. We got to keep our eye on him and whether or not he's the right man for the job.
All right, Kimberly, who do you give the edge to this week, one matchup, Washington's defensive line or Justin Herbert?
You know what, Molly? I spent time with Chase Young this offseason, so I'm going to say Washington's D-line this week is going to get the better of Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert, he's nice. The Chargers are a better team.
He can ball 31 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 66% of passes.
That D-line, though.
Do that.
That Washington D-line.
Absolutely, both sides. Guys, let's stay in LA here where Matthew Stafford is trying to win his first playoff game and Justin Herbert is looking to build off his Rookie of the Year campaign. So Charger star, as you can see here, receiver Keenan Allen said that about Herbert. I don't think he has a ceiling. Kimberly, I think this is a really good question, and I'm not just saying it because I'm asking it, but with the LA quarterback, would you rather have this season?
To me, this one was easy. It's Justin Herbert. Because when you think about Matt Stafford, what's the narrative around Stafford? Oh, he finally has the pieces. He finally has the defense, the offense, the coach, the organization. Pieces. He got pieces. Guess what? Justin Herbert, he is that piece. When you think about the Chargers and how this is a team more people should be talking about because this kid is that legit. When you talk about his Offensive Rookie of the Year campaign, he won that by a wide margin, 41-9. That's how wide a margin he had because of that breakout season. And to me, it's the upside. Like, good quarterbacks can win you some games in the regular season, of course. Great quarterbacks, potentially great quarterbacks, when the game, it's late fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock, and you're like, oh, damn, we are down. Like, what can we get in the huddle? You look at your quarterback and you see Justin Herbert, you're like, okay, we're good. And Matt Stafford's career trajectory, facing a Super Bowl or bust season, tells me that you can't trust the numbers. You can't trust that he will definitely take you to the Super Bowl. I have more faith in Justin Herbert. You could sigh all you want, but...
My older sister, Linda, Arlen,
Hey, lady.
Abigail, Carmen, my sisters, they love themselves some Kimberly Martin. They've been watching her for years. They've been reading her work in New York Newsday for years and all that stuff before she blessed us with her presence here on national television. So I have to monitor my tone because
don't go, bring it.
Women are going to beat me
I'm
up.
from Brooklyn. You don't have to monitor your tone. You can come with it.
Okay. Let me be very clear, Kimberly. You're wrong.
Oh.
First of all, Justin Herbert just got here, baby. Went in playoffs last year. Breath smelled wet behind the ears.
I just got to ESPN, but I think I'm all right. Yeah?
You are all right, but you're not all right. You're not all right at this particular moment in time. Let me tell you something right now. Justin Herbert, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. Let me tell you something, okay? I got mad love and faith in him for the future. But for this year, it's about Matthew Stafford, and it's about those Los Angeles Rams. And when you talk about who you'd rather have, I would remind you, although the record is 74-90-1 as a starting quarterback in the NFL over 12 seasons with the pathetic, perpetually moribund Detroit Lions, a lot of people don't blame Matthew Stafford for that. I will remind you, let me read a couple of numbers to you. Man's got 74 wins in his 12 season. You know how many of them were credited to game-winning drives led by Stafford, Molly? 38. 38. That's a 51% clip. This brother is known as a clutch playing quarterback. Fresh off a 4,000 passing yard season, just 26 touchdowns with 10 interceptions. But the point is he was playing in Detroit. When I think about him with Deshaun Jackson, when I think about him with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and the crew, when I think about the play calling of Sean McVay, when I think about not being stained and contaminated by that pathetic franchise in the Motor City, then guess what? I got a different flavor. I got a different feel for Matthew Stafford. I'm not trying to act like he don't have anything to prove. But if I got a crew and I got one of the top defenses in the league, led by Aaron Donald on the front line and Jalen Ramsey in the back in the secondary, okay? If I got that going on with Super Bowl expectations, I don't want a second-year quarterback over a dude that's known for winning games in the clutch with game-winning drives like Matthew Stafford. I don't want to do that.
Well, Matthew Stafford will be the first to admit, and he has admitted in print, that, I won't throw the organization or players under the bus, teammates under the bus, because I know in big moments I have been the one to make mistakes over my career. So clutch.
Really?
I'm glad you know what? I'm glad. Here's the thing. I'm glad you brought up receipts with Damien because I do recall this week on this show, on this set, you guys had a discussion about who's under the most pressure, McVay or Stafford, right? What was your answer? Stafford. What did you say? oh, well, he's had a long career. He's good, but the record is what the record is.
Well,
he owns the record.
That's
does he
not all I said.
In 12 years.
That's not all I said.
In 12 years,
I will remind you,
in 12
I was raised by women.
Where is he?
I was raised by women. I know how y'all can do it. Y'all can twist my words. Okay, I know what you. That is not all I said, Kimberly.
I'm just. I thought
Kimberly,
we were bringing out.
Kimberly,
we're not bringing out receipts right now. We're not doing that. Okay.
Hold on. Work with me.
Okay, let's go.
I was answering the question about McVay versus Stafford. It wasn't Stafford versus Herbert.
Yeah, what happened was.
That's what I said.
You're right.
Okay, that's what I said. I answered.
She pulled a Stephen A. though.
Yeah, but it don't work. But it don't work. It don't work.
Today.
That's cool, but she didn't utilize it to the effect that I do.
like the delivery, too.
I do. I like the fact that I'm being watched. You thought you caught me, but it didn't work. The fact is that the question was about McVay versus Stafford within the Rams organization. It wasn't Stafford versus Justin Herbert. I don't want a second-year quarterback when I'm in pursuit of a Super Bowl.
You think whose ceiling is higher? You think Matt Stafford?
I'm not thinking about a ceiling in terms of 2-3 years down the road. I'm talking about this season. I want Stafford.
What about Matt Stafford's career tells you, oh, we definitely go in the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm going to defer to the NFL aficionados who raved and called it a blockbuster trade because of how big Tom Stafford was, and they religiously, universally credited the Detroit Lions with their pathetic tendencies as being the reason that Stafford even has a question mark on his resume. So I'm sorry, I'm going to go with that.
Okay. We can see this.
Bears at Rams, Chargers at Washington. That was a lot of fun. Thank you, Kimberly. When we come back, Big Swagoo joins in on the fun in just a bit. Are the Colts a legit Super Bowl contender? Marcus Spears, Stephen A. go toe-to-toe on that debate. Plus, there's more AFC where that came from. All-world tight end Travis Kelce spoke with Stephen A., and you don't want to miss what the Chiefs star had to say. Keep it locked. First Take. On the reserve COVID-19 list. Back on August 30th. Wentz won't have to carry the load on his own, though. The Colts have one of the best defenses in the AFC backing him up. The defense, led by DeForest Buckner and Darius Leonard, wants to force 40 turnovers this season. Big Swagoo. There he is.
Hold on.
He looks so nice.
Hold on.
It's game day.
First of all, he does look good.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop frowning, man. You don't need to frown. Smile.
What the hell you talking about hold up for?
Show them. I'm getting ready to tell you why.
Well,
smile and relax. You see that tie he's wearing? I had that on yesterday. The man saw my tie and he said, hey, I got to put that on. He got that from me.
You know what Aaron Rodgers said? R-E-L-A-X.
That's what it is.
Relax. I can't with you.
Hey, Molly, go see me with the white blazer yesterday. It's the exact
Molly, somebody else.
I was with you all day.
Somebody else can be big time. All right. I have a suit company named J. Hill Burn that provides my merchandise. So, Stephen A., you're not the only one that can have nice things, bro.
I'm not
and this is not the tie. Because
this is why he can't have nice things.
This is J. Hill Burn tie. You get your tie from other places.
He was watching First Take yesterday. He said, damn, Stephen A. look good. Let me get that tie right there.
Don't you know that song? You're so vain. It's not always about you. Oh, my goodness.
Excuse me. Oh, my goodness. All right, go ahead. Let's go.
All right. Marcus, are the Colts a legit Super Bowl threat?
No. How the hell are we going to say they're a legit Super Bowl threat? Carson Wentz last year led the NFL in interceptions and was the worst quarterback with a clean pocket. And you know what's so devastating about that stat? He only played 12 games, and he still led the league. So listen, everybody is optimistic. I hope Carson can turn his career around. I hope he can bounce back. The marriage with Frank Reich, and everybody's excited about that. This dude missed majority of the offseason with a foot. He missed with COVID as well. So when we talking about coming into a season and we talk about legit Super Bowl contenders, what evidence do we have that the most important player on your football team is ready to lead you to a Super Bowl? This is not to take a shot at Carson Wentz. This is the reality of what we've seen from Carson Wentz. The bottom line is when you're talking about the Indianapolis Colts being legit Super Bowl contenders, you say yes because of what they did last year with Philip Rivers. Phillip Rivers played well last year. Guess who Phillip Rivers played better than last year, Molly? Carson Wentz. And look, for all of this talk about Carson Wentz under duress, and he was having problems last year in Philly because of the offensive line. That offensive line ranked 11th in the NFL last year in pass protection. So it was Carson Wentz. He took more sacks and threw more interceptions than everybody else in the league and only played 12 games. But somebody who I know, who just finished talking about a damn tie, must think that they a legit Super Bowl contender. And I want to know why. I want to hear this dribble that's about to come from the other guy that was talking about my tie earlier. So I'm going to bow out. I'm going to leave those facts on the table, and I'm going to let those stand. And I want to hear how we talk around the Indianapolis Colts somehow having the most important player at their position who played as bad as any quarterback in the NFL are legit Super Bowl contenders. The floor is yours, sir.
First of all, don't come on this show being disrespectful. You know my name. You know my name. You know what I'm saying? I'm Stephen A. You know who I am. You know who I am. I mean, you know my name. That's number one. That's number one, okay? Number two, let me put this in this proper perspective. I know T.Y. Hilton's starting the season undergoing surgery and all of that other stuff. We wish him nothing but the best with his neck and all of that. Got Pascal. You got Pittman. You got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. You got a massive offensive line that's big time. We all know that, okay? Carson Wentz is the question mark. Why do I bring this up? Because wait a minute, he was playing in Philadelphia, and during the offseason, we've seen how dysfunctional, Marcus, Philadelphia was. You got rid of your head coach. You got rid of your quarterback. You brought in a new coach, Sirianni. We get all of that. We understand it, but there's still a question mark. And now we see how bereft of weapons they are to some degree. You got people predicting they're going to be in last place and wondering about the Philadelphia Eagles as an organization and whether or not wholesale changes need to take place with that, simply because of how dysfunctional things have become. Well, Carson Wentz might have been plagued by all of that to some degree. Now, to some degree, Marcus, I'll give you this. He might have been the cause of it, too, because the locker room was divided. You had people who wanted Nick Foles before Nick Foles departed. We get all of that in all seriousness. I recognize the fact that Carson Wentz may have been a problem. But the last time he was successful, who was his offensive coordinator and his quarterback guy? Frank Reich. Who's the head coach of Indianapolis Colts? Frank Reich. So what I'm saying is when we look at the Indianapolis Colts, we also got to take into consideration the division that they're in. Houston's an absolute mess. I'm so ticked off that Coach Culley is in that situation right now.
It's bad.
Black coach comes into the situation, and he got to deal with all of that nonsense. You got the GM hiding and leaving the coach out there to answer a bunch of questions he shouldn't have to answer. I don't think that's fair at all. And I spoke about that a couple of months ago because that stuff needed to stop. So that's a bad situation in Houston. We know that Jacksonville, fresh off a 1-15 season, I mean, the best thing they got is Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. Unfortunately, Urban Meyer's the coach. He can't go out there and play. So Trevor Lawrence, who does he have with him as a weapon? So you got two teams in there that are pretty close to irrelevant within the division.
Hey, man, can you get to why you think they legit Super Bowl contenders? I don't need to hear about damn Jacksonville and Houston. Tell me about Indianapolis.
Hold it. Could you calm down? I think it's important that you calm down.
Well, you've been talking for 3 minutes and you ain't said nothing about the coach.
I did. I'm telling you, the only question about the team is the quarterback, and I like the fact that Frank Reich is there.
He's saying the division's bad, too,
Outside of that,
Tennessee.
you're playing in a bad division. Outside of that, look at their roster and look at what they have around their quarterback. So if I think that you got a shot to win the division, then we're talking about you winning at least one playoff game to be considered a contender, and I think that's something they could do.
Okay, first of all, the Tennessee Titans is the best team in their division because of what I just talked about with Carson Wentz and them adding Julio Jones. But more importantly than that, since we're going to talk about the other teams, Danico Autry, Janoris Jenkins on the other side of the ball. They signed Bud Dupree. S.A., listen, I'm with you. Everybody has optimism about the Indianapolis Colts, but we're not going to do this on First Take. Me and you not going to do this. We're going to come to an agreement, or we going to agree to disagree, because there is no way in hell you can say right now today before any game is played that the Indianapolis Colts are legit Super Bowl contenders when we know the most important position in NFL football is quarterback, and you have no idea how this quarterback gonna perform. And look, I get it. I understand what you're saying about him being back with Frank Reich. A lot of Carson Wentz issues was Carson Wentz. A lot of them. All right. We could talk about the other things, but the bottom line is this, S.A. We don't give other quarterbacks this pass.
But I'm not giving them the pass.
Okay.
I'm saying that, listen, you got to understand, I'm a guy that I remember how the Baltimore Ravens won a Super Bowl with no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but with a relatively average quarterback. I remember Eli showing up in the postseason, but was a relatively average quarterback during the regular season, but somehow propelled the Giants there. I've seen situations where you had a team that was loaded that worked around a quarterback that wasn't quote unquote elite. And then I'm taking into account the level of the effect that I believe Frank Reich himself can have directly on Carson Wentz. If you have weaknesses everywhere else, I get you. But when I'm looking at their defense, we think that that's championship caliber. When I'm looking at their offense, I'm saying, wait a minute, they got some weapons there, particularly if T.Y. Hilton comes back with Pittman and Pascal and the rest of the crew, with Jonathan Taylor running in the backfield. They can do some things. I don't think you can look at them and say, you know what? They ain't even again, I'm not predicting they win in the AFC, but to say they ain't even in the picture, I can't dismiss Indy like that because I watched them play.
All right. Well, we are definitely going to agree to disagree on this because I'm not going to bet against what Indianapolis Colts are. I'm going to bet against what I know right now. About this quarterback. Now, he may prove me wrong. He may prove everybody wrong. But us talking about this, I will not say they are legit Super Bowl contenders for as bad as Carson Wentz has been until I see the Frank Reich situation work out.
To crystallize it, you not saying that because you don't believe in Carson Wentz and Indy. I'm saying they are because I believe in everything around Carson Wentz and Indy.
I got you.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's where we are.
I want to remind you of this. When you talk about the situation with Dilfer, and when you think about this AFC, and this is for people that's watching us right now, Stephen A., because you and I go back and forth, and you and I disagree on things, and we agree on things. The league and what we're looking at in the AFC is really about Carson Wentz and his level. Because he going to have to beat Patrick Mahomes. He going to have to beat Tannehill. He going to have to beat Josh Allen like Phillip Rivers wasn't able to do last year when he was playing well.
So I think the Colts are good,
but I'm going to stand pat on Carson Wentz becoming 2017 again until I start to see some actual evidence, and then I'll determine if they are legit Super Bowl
Russell
contenders.
Wilson and the Hawks come to town this weekend.
And I don't think he needs to be 2017. I just think he doesn't need to be what he was last year.
Yeah.
All right, Mark is sticking around here with revamping that O-line this offseason via trade, free agency, and the draft. Well, Stephen A. caught up with the great Travis Kelce ahead of their Week 1 showdown against the Cleveland Browns. Stephen A.
He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, 5 consecutive seasons with at least 1,000 receiving yards. The best tight end in football, as far as I'm concerned, the one and only Travis Kelce, right here on First Take. What's up, Big Time? How are you? He on behalf of Lowe's. On behalf of Lowe's, what's going on, man? You trying to fix some stuff, trying to build houses? What you doing?
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to provide for this city, this beautiful Kansas City community that I'm in, man. I'm the newest member of the Lowe's Home Team, their initiative to get into over 100 communities in the country, and it's just been a pleasure, man. My foundation, 87 and running, has created the Ignition Lab here, and what it is it's a STEM skills, STEM program for kids through the ages of 14 to 18, where they can go and have a safe place to learn all of these skills. And Lowe's has been so kind to jump on board, help provide some of the tools and state-of-the-art equipment that goes along with it. I'm very thankful that I have such a great community to back me through this, and what these kids are going to get through their high school levels is just it's amazing, man. I'm very thankful.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, I've done some work for Lowe's myself, and I've spoken up on that. Yes, I have, sir. I cannot believe that you and your foundation have you invited me to speak for the kids, because you know Stevie A love the kids. He sure does. I love the kids. You know that.
That's what we got in common. We love the kids, right? We're gonna have to get to Kansas City first and make sure we stop by
Kansas City. I'm gonna come when the weather ain't so cold. I'm gonna come because it's kind of fly downtown in Kansas City. I can't sleep on Kansas City. It's got some nice stuff. But listen, man, I got a couple of topics that I want to throw in your direction, because I heard you was actually willing to come on and debate me. I'm stunned. I couldn't believe you wanted to, but it's okay. Let's go to the first one. The most exciting player in the NFL is who?
Oh, that's the easiest one there. Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, the man, the myth, the legend. The dude is unbelievable. The fastest man on the planet, on top of being one of the most prolific route runners in the game today. You can't tell me a single thing this guy doesn't do. I mean, in the run game, he's throwing his body around. He's a dense, solid little dude. You know what I mean? He's a strong guy. He's throwing his body around. He can do anything you need him to do, even punt return or kick return. We just don't ask him to do that all the time.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you.
Disagree?
Because of your teammate. How about Patrick Mahomes? I mean, to me, between Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, their ability to run with the football, but to fling that damn football. See, Tyreek Hill is that dude when he has the ball. When he doesn't have the ball, I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes always has the ball. So I got to go with Patrick Mahomes.
That, you know what? That slipped my mind. I forgot Pat was even on the team there for a second, man. The cheetah, man. I know I get excited when the cheetah has the ball. That's for sure. But I guess you got a good point, man. He doesn't get it unless Patrick Mahomes is.
That's right. That's right. Let's get to the other one. We got 2 rookie quarterbacks. I'm thinking about who's going to have the best season. Of course, Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, Mac Jones in New England. Who you got?
And this is no shame on either one of them. I'm taking Mac Jones, man. I think what he's shown through the preseason, his command, his ability to put the ball anywhere, and then on top of that, to have the coaching, man. I've been such a advocate for great coaching because I've had great coaching, and I'm not the same player without Andy Reid and his offensive mind, his ability to call the right play at the right time. And I think that's something that Mac Jones has. And like I said, it's not throwing any shade at, who the Jacksonville Jaguars got at the quarterback position or at the OC position. I just think that Mac has a great feel for the game, and he's in a great position over there in New England.
Well, see, I'm not going to disagree with you because I do think he's in a better situation. It's hard for me to pick Trevor Lawrence when you're playing the Jacksonville fresh off a 1-15 season. He's got a long way to go. New England lost 8-9 players decided not to show up to the NFL last year because they sat out due to COVID. Mac Jones is clearly in a better situation. They spent gobs and gobs of money because they're trying to come for y'all in Kansas City. So I'm going to have to agree with you there. We won one. Last thing right now. Best tight end in the NFL, not named Travis Kelce, is who?
Sheesh. You throw it on me. I can't. It's hard for me to just pick one. It's hard for me to just pick one. I never want to single anybody out. But I think everybody knows that George Kittle is an unbelievable player, man. Right. He's, one of the best the NFL has ever seen. When he's out there, all eyes are on 8-5. I mean, the Joker himself is an electric, fun player to watch, and he's going to put it all out there for his teammates, man. I'm going to have to go George Kittle.
We agree there. See, I was waiting because I was like, if you throw, I don't care how much you want to big up somebody else. There's nobody on the level of you and George Kittle right now. It's 1 and 2.
Darren Waller is right there. Yeah. Darren Waller is right there.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews just got a big-time contract. He's probably going to be excited to get out there and show everybody what he can do. We got guys all over the place that are making plays for their teams, man. I'm just excited for the tight end position, period.
It's interesting you bring that up because I'd be remiss in neglecting to bring this up while you're here. How did that tight end university go for you guys? We talked about that a few months ago. I was really impressed with the stuff that I saw y'all doing. How do you feel that went?
Oh, it was unbelievable, man. Just to get all the personalities in one area. Typically you only get to see somebody for 5 minutes before or after a game and warm-ups or after a game. And you don't really get to know the guy across the ball or who you're watching on film all the time. Here we got to actually, pick the brains of each other throughout the league. I got to hear Darren Waller speak about his journey in the NFL and how he persevered and how he's really taken ownership of who he is and as a professional and things like that. Hearing Mercedes Lewis' story about his upbringing and his long career in the NFL and how to really, make sure that you set yourself up for the ability to have a long career. It was just an awesome experience, man. I can't thank all the tight ends out there for showing up because I definitely took away from everybody.
Now, what if you go up against Darren Waller with a playoff on the line or whatever, and he just smokes Kansas City's defense? You helped him. I mean, that doesn't matter to you.
The thing is that I'm here for everybody to get better, right? I want everybody to get better, but I know we have the best safety in the game that Darren has to go up against, and it's not. I respect the Raiders. It's just, every single time I see Darren Waller play against him, I know he's got one of the best safeties in the league guarding him, so it's going to be a little bit tougher.
I got you. Travis Kelce, proud of you, my man. Appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing big things from you this year, as I always do, my brother. All the best to you, man. Thank you for being here on First Take.
So much love for you. Have a good one, Stephen A.
All right, my man. Take care of yourself.
That was fun. 2 winners right there. Dan Orlovsky said what to a prediction about the Tampa Bay